This tutorial is intended to show how we at Verbatim Solutions can turn around an InDesign brochure it within 24 hours using the Verbingo translation management system. Verbingo is a tool that we've created for our clients to make sure the best efficiencies are had all around the board from start to finish in the translation process. And we incorporate no other pieces from any other company. It is completely contained, and our people are paid and maintained by us. This is how it works. Take, for example, a small brochure. You open it up in InDesign, and we don't even need the images or fonts. We can just take the rough file and open it up. Notice how it's about 8 pages with covers, typical of what you might see or what you expect for any number of situations or needs. The first step we do is we take advantage of Adobe's own tools, and we export this file using what they call their InDesign markup option here, IDML. And we simply save that file. We do nothing else to it. And so this is actually something that you as a client can do directly, and in fact this client does if they follow this process in order to initiate projects and retrieve them once they're completed. The file that is output then is an IDML file, and this is the file then we will load into Verbingo. And Verbingo is browser based. It has a dashboard with several options. The option I want to look at here is materials, because this is where we sync up the materials. We click on the InDesign tag or option here, continue, and then we simply choose that file that we created, the IDML file, and you choose your language pair, English to what? And here we can, just for testing this or just for demo's sake, let's choose Norwegian. So all you do again, you choose the IDML file that we output with one click from InDesign. You choose the language pair, and then we click scan. Now this scanning process takes the IDML file, scans it for all of the source text that needs to be translated, and we then take that text one segment at a time, and the segments are defined based on the IDML file, the IDML rules there. And so we take each segment one at a time, and we compare it to the online translation database to see if there are any matches. Here in this case, we see that we've gotten our report back very quickly in a matter of seconds, and we can see how that IDML file compares against the translation memory database in the Verbingo system. We see that there are no matches and that there are no segments being translated. We see here that there are 163 segments with 1,500 words. And then there's a little bit of duplicates and not much to really mention. So, but here we know we're dealing with 1,500 words, 1,600 words, and so we click continue to set up the project. That then is done here by selecting the new project. We can put in anything, but I'll put in demo. We will create the project, and then here you would put in a deadline for, say, tomorrow if you want a 24-hour turnaround. And you could put in the PDF of that brochure so that we have complete and total reference and context. Clicking sync then we'll take these 177 segments and write them to the translation memory database. And again, that is an online database that is always live and always accessible. It lives in the cloud on a Heroku server, which is which is backed up by Amazon. So it's well protected and well secured, and these segments are being written to that database even as we speak during this demo. Once our translators finish translating those segments, which I will show you in another video how they do that, this process then is essentially reversed, where we retrieve those translations and put the translations back into the IDML file. And I'm going to show you how that works here in a second. It takes a minute or two to upload and create these projects, but that's what you'd expect for for such a task that we're doing. So here you go. It confirms that a mail is sent, that we are aware of the project that's been uploaded, and we are ready to go with it. You can then download. If there were translations retrieved, we would download them here. Closing this window, we can now click on the Projects tab and see that here is a list of all the projects. Here's our demo, the Norwegian. Here we have the word counts with the status. Here are other projects that are in progress. And what we would do then here at Verbatim Solutions is we would click on the assign column, and we would make an assignment of that project to a project manager. We choose from our project managers, and then once the assignment is made, the notification gets sent out that the job is there and ready to begin immediately. So there is no delay. Once the project is loaded into the system, we are immediately ready to go. Now I'm going to do this process again, but this time I'm going to do it with a language that has already been translated, French Canadian. So again, we click on Materials, and we click on InDesign IDML. We continue. We go get the file that we were working with, the IDML file. And this time, instead of Norwegian, I'm going to choose French Canadian, which is right here, and then click on Scan. Again, it might take 30 seconds or so, but again, just to review, it is now scanning that exact same file, that exact same English InDesign file. It's taking every English segment out of it and comparing it to our online translation database in the Verbingo system. If there's a match, which there should be for 100% of them, which in this case, here we go, 100%. Then we click Continue. And here, since there are 100%, all we do is sync that file. And again, what that's doing, it only takes a few seconds, is pulling down all the translations and putting them into the InDesign, the IDML file, and then making it available for download. Here we go. I can now download the file. You see it goes down. I'm going to go back to my Finder and bring that file in. And then finally, just to check it, you can see it has a FRC extension. I'm going to double click on it. It'll ask me to, again, click through the links I'm missing. But now you can see that my file is in French Canadian. And I didn't have to do, I have done no DTP to this file yet. There is some that needs to be done. We need to check for things like bolding and expansion. You can see how text doesn't quite fit, but we expect that in translation. And we can now go through there and perform these much less time-intensive tasks instead of cutting and pasting and doing all that stuff. So that's how we can turn these things around. We use our system again. I can go back here to the project status and keep an eye on these 1,600 words, get them translated easily within a day, and track them with this status, and then know immediately when to retrieve the translations, get them into a desktop publishing where they can be turned around in minutes and provided for publishing for you, the client. We ask you to investigate our system and ask questions and put us to the test. We feel it works. It's been proven, and we are very excited about offering it to our clients. Thank you very much.